Yo, welcome back to the GM Podcast. I'm Miller.
I'm Gav.
And today, it is after Game 5 of the NBA Finals where the OKC Thunder took a 3-2 lead in the series. And we're going back to Indiana, and Tyrese Haliburton has a calf strain, which we learned about 2 to 3 hours ago. So, first thing I want to ask you, is this series over?
Yes, it is for sure. And I thought OKC was going to win in 7.
Yeah. Well, first you said 6, so you might be right.
But I'm saying, I'm saying, at first I thought, not at first, but like yesterday I said 7. As it went on, I said 7 because of that game 1 steal.
Yeah.
And I just think that I don't think Tyrese Haliburton should play.
You don't?
No. This is the same thing KD had, and he tried to suck it up. Obviously, I don't know how severe the MRI is gonna look, but you know, I have them winning next game if he's healthy to play, but he's not, so it might just be over in 6.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'm gonna judge next game because I haven't seen them all year without Tyrese Haliburton, their creator. So yeah.
So yes, this series is done. Yeah. I honestly don't have a lot to speak of if you don't have Tyrese Haliburton, and especially if Tyrese Haliburton is in a mode where he does have a calf strain and he's little, I guess, under the weather. But let me just ask you about Tyrese Haliburton. What did you think about his performance yesterday, and honestly, if he's done throughout this series?
Yeah, he played terrible yesterday. I think he hasn't played up to par, especially in their losses.
Yes.
But he's going against an all-time defense, and he's a playmaker who's very reliant on others, and his scoring is very, I'll take what you give me.
Yes.
It's not...
I'm going to go get it.
Exactly. It's not I'm going to go get it. I'm literally making the right play every single time down the court. And a lot of Tyrese Haliburton's game is wiggle, give me some space.
Yeah.
You saw it against Milwaukee. Like, when you guard him straight up, no one can guard him.
Yeah.
And what OKC is doing and what the refs are allowing him to do is just get up in their space. They're almost jamming him.
Yes.
So it's like you jamming a receiver. They can't make their move if they're jammed properly.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like that. And Tyrese... he doesn't have the craziest handle. He's just all about angles. He gets you raise a high foot, attacks that, whatever.
Yeah.
But with the way they're playing defense at OKC, it's just a bad matchup for him.
Absolutely.
I think he played great in their Game 2 win.
Yeah.
I thought he played great.
Game 1 win.
Game 2. No, Game 3, I mean. Game 3. First game in Indiana.
Yeah.
22-9-11.
Yeah.
And... he hit the game winner in Game 1, which was huge. Like, makes up for whatever you did. It's
absolutely.
Like, he's done all playoffs. And then I thought he played great in the Game 4. I thought he played really good, especially at the end.
Yeah.
Which is what he does. So, yeah, I just think it was a terrible matchup. And yesterday he just played terrible. And with already OKC jam you like that, the calf strain don't make it no better.
Yeah.
Not as an excuse because he played, but... I think he just played terrible, and he's not. Where I have him ranked as a player, it's not. He's gonna have the range I have him ranked. I think all of those players, other than like Brunson and even AD, like I think all of those players have like terrible playoff games randomly.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah.
They have, especially Anthony Davis. Well, not Jalen Brunson, but definitely Anthony Davis. In my opinion, this was the series where Tyrese Haliburton was supposed to have a little bit of an underwhelming series, and he had 2 good games. So what I'm not finna sit here and do is crush Tyrese Haliburton like everybody's been doing all day, because once again, he does have this calf strain, and he has had 4 game winners in this playoffs. What I will say is that there's a clear area in Tyrese Haliburton's game that he needs to improve. And this is something that hadn't been highlighted and hadn't been taken advantage of until this series, but his lack of aggression as a scorer needs to be worked upon in this offseason, as far as him being more aggressive in hunting shots. And he's always going to be the pass-first playmaker. He's always going to make the right play. But in certain moments, if we are going to start talking about this guy as a top 10 basketball player, you cannot just be dependent on playmaking and your other guys hitting shots when you're not there's very much a lot of spurts where he isn't giving them any buckets down the stretch.
Yeah.
And that's fine, once again, because that's the way he plays. But I cannot yet put him into that hierarchy when I have guys that literally carry their squad sometimes 2 wins based off their scoring alone.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say, Tyrese Haliburton this season boosted his rank tremendously, whether it's done or not. He hit 4 game winners. So in 30 years, when your kids ask you about what was the clutchest thing you ever seen, right now it's Tyrese Haliburton's 2025 playoff run.
Ever.
And he's 25 years old. So Tyrese Haliburton is going to get better. But I do think there was a rush to put him very much higher than a lot of the established superstars and scorers that we already have. When you see, I mean, Pascal Siakam, you could argue, has been at least as good of a player in this finals as Tyrese Haliburton. So I would just say slow down. I told you I think he's the 12th best player in basketball, which I think is fair. I think the range for him should be around 8 to 15, in my opinion. But, man, like I said, I don't think this is a nail in the coffin for Tyrese Haliburton as a player, because I've seen a lot of stuff today. And what I also will say, on the other side, I'm not giving him a pass for the injury. You know how I get with that. If you play the game, I'm judging on how you played the game. If you were out, it would have been something different. But you played the game, you had 0 points, you were running around just like you were doing in games 2 and 4 and didn't play very great.
Exactly.
So it's like, I'm not about to give you that pass, but once again, you have Lou Dort guarding you. Lou Dort messed up Anthony Edwards a little bit. Lou Dort gave any guard on the Nuggets problems. Jamal Murray had some games, but for the majority of that series, Jamal Murray was kind of silenced. And then obviously the Grizzlies, I'm not going to talk about the Grizzlies, but I just think the criticism has been a little bit too strong on Tyrese Haliburton. Even though it is the finals and you expect this guy to be great, he's 25 years old and got his team to the finals. These are growing pains. This isn't Tyrese Haliburton.
It's not as bad, but I just think about Luka's playoff run last year. And then because of the finals, it just gets overlooked.
Yes.
Like, no, what Luka did was crazy. What Luka did last playoffs was better than any player on the Celtics.
Yes.
Like, as an individual, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And because we have 5 guys who can get 20 any night, that can attack an isolation, get an ISO bucket on any, even as good as the Thunder defenders are, the Celtics guys are that good, they can score any of the Thunder guys because we just shoot threes.
Yeah.
So, like, Luka getting all that criticism, it reminds me of that. Like, I think we're forgetting what we thought about Tyrese Haliburton before this series even started.
Yes.
And
even after game
once
1.
again, I think there is a complete talent discrepancy. I think, I like Siakam. I like Haliburton. After that, I don't know. I would take Chet over anyone else. I would take, like, as good as Nembhard is and as good as he makes timely buckets, he averaged 13 this playoffs.
What is he? I don't think he's been effective at all in these finals.
No, and he was not effective in multiple wins in New York.
Nesmith has done absolutely nothing, but that putback yesterday.
He had a couple threes. He's solid. I think, but that's Nesmith. Like, I think Nesmith.
You think he is what he is?
Yeah, like, that's why we traded him. Like, he's a 3-and-D. Granted, he's better than what probably we thought he was going to be, but this is about what we drafted him for. Yeah, something like this.
Turner has not given them any 3-point shooting.
And I just think, like I said, like, I just think we're forgetting, like, like, Michael Jordan never did this. Like, this man hit a game winner in every single series.
Yes.
Like, coming back, that is just impressive in itself. It's one of the most clutch players I've ever seen. Clutch runs I've ever seen. And he was doing this in the regular season, too. Yeah. He did it against Milwaukee. He did it against... I forgot. I was watching clips all day. He's done these game winners, these under
Milwaukee,
2 minutes.
Cleveland.
Like, he's done in a regular season all year. Like, he's hitting game winners, hitting shots under 2 minutes to put you up or tie the game. Like, he's been doing this in the regular season and the postseason this year. So, I would just give him. I just think, as good as Haliburton is, it's almost like Shea is like 2 tiers ahead of that.
Yes.
And like I said, I just think, and the way J-Dub has played, not where I would have J-Dub ranked, but the way J-Dub has played is just as good as Pascal Siakam.
Absolutely.
So, yes, he's not maybe as good as him, but once again, like, and he will be, but he played just as good as him or better.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah. So, moral of the story, don't downgrade Tyrese Haliburton. If there's any Tyrese Haliburton discourse, it's going to be next year when he doesn't get better and they get bounced in the second or third round.
Yeah.
But he just made a finals run, hitting a clutch shot in every single one of the series. So we're not going to go crazy on Tyrese Haliburton. Hopefully he gets better and we are able to see him in Game 6 because we don't want to see a finals come down to injuries taking out star players. Let's move on to J-Dub. 40 ball in the finals. Kyrie vibes. It gave me strong Kyrie vibes. That's the first thing I thought about, and then when I got on Instagram, I saw it, so it wasn't original. But just tell me what you took away from his performance as far as the future of the Thunder.
Yeah, I think he took a big step, and it's exactly what he needed to do. I never thought J-Dub, and I never think he will be a 1.
Yes.
All I wanted to see from J-Dub is if they over-attention Shea,
yeah,
that's when you capitalize off that. And that's Rick Carlisle's game plan. We're going to try to take away Shea or make Shea ineffective or turn the ball over, things like that, and it's been working.
Yeah.
But
to an extent,
make all them other guys beat you.
Yeah.
Like, and previously, J-Dub hasn't been able to consistently do that.
No.
But now it's like, if you want to give Shea all this attention, okay, I ain't going to say 40 every time, but like, I'll get 26, 27, I'll get 30. Like, he's been doing that this series. And I think that's the separator for OKC.
Yeah.
Because I thought Chet was going to have a better series, and just offensively, he hasn't been as effective. But it hasn't mattered.
I think J-Dub, first off, he's an individual that has got in every single one of these playoff series, he gets better throughout the series. So it's a guy that is smart, that learns from mismatches. You can obviously tell he watches film. But just for the future of this Thunder team, and I don't want to speak into any dynasty talks. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about J-Dub as a basketball player. It's scary. It is scary. You have a 6'6" wing that if he shoots catch and shoot threes like he did at yesterday, he already has the downhill power and touch around the rim that is ridiculously scary. I mean, he might be one of the best. He probably is a top 10 driver in basketball right now, at least. And then you're talking about on the defensive end, easily one of the best players in basketball. I'll probably, if I'm ranking my top 10 defensive players, I'm putting Jalen Williams in that 10.
Yeah, and I mean, he's all NBA, so yeah.
Absolutely. So
all defense.
Yeah, my thing is,
well, he was all NBA.
It's, I don't want to say that Jalen Williams is, like you said, he probably won't be a 1-8, and he's probably comfortable being a 2 because the situation he was brought into.
He's one of those guys that's like gonna be elite number 2, and I think if he were to leave, he could have like, not to this level, but he could have like some Harden stuff going on, like.
Absolutely, but I'm
not from a standpoint of like play style, but just as a standpoint of like he would, if he got his own team, he would get 30 and kill.
Bro,
but it just wouldn't translate to winning at all. But I don't know. Him as a number 2 translates to winning.
And it's going to, but my thing about Jalen Williams, first off, the combination of power, downhill ability, touch, the three-point shooting, the mid-range, that half spin he hit yesterday, oh my goodness gracious, I almost fell out. And the defense, he has the tools to at least be a top 10 player in this league. And then when you talk about the development that Chet may have, and this might be who Chet is, especially if he has to be the third option for this team. He might not be able to ever reach that development because they're not going to be going to him for those type of shots. But Jalen Williams yesterday, I mean, we've already seen this and we knew this, but the consistency was never there. But the amount of shot making he got by just early in the game getting backdoor cuts and getting easy layups, getting him into a groove so that later he's already in a groove and can get in a rhythm on those catch and shoot threes, on that half spin midi. I'm scared of what Jalen Williams could be in the future. I mean, this dude, first off, he's been durable so far. And you would just have to consider him, if he keeps developing like this and he's more sure of himself, then this team absolutely can run the league for years. And that's just me being honest. And honestly, we've said this about all the teams. You know, I think
this team reminds me a lot of the Boston team when we had Marcus Smart and we were guarding.
Yeah.
And we had Brogdon and like whatever. But
I think the two guys just weren't as good as our two guys at that point.
I think the guy.
Shea?
Yeah. I just think the guy.
Yeah, that
makes sense. Jaylen Brown and J-Dub, same tier. I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. But Shea was better. Yeah, Shea was just better than Tatum.
Just top 3, Tatum's top 5, and there's a difference.
At that point, Tatum was probably like around top 7 because that's probably when LeBron. Yeah. So,
but I just think. Yeah, I think that's the difference. But both teams were number 1 defenses in the league. I think just the difference was Shea was Tatum was number 1, but Shea is a top 3 player in basketball. Tatum is top 5 to 7.
So, how do you feel about the Scottie Pippen comparisons now?
I don't know. I think I don't like Scottie Pippen. I think
as a comp,
I
understand it.
I don't like the Scottie Pippen. I think I don't. And I don't know. I can't think. I wanted to just think of one off the top of my head.
But he's really an anomaly, bro. Like 6'6", long outstretched arms, and can play make. Has the ball on a like. You look for guys with power like the Jaylen Browns, but he doesn't really have the ball on a string. Like, he's not playmaking. You look for the guys with ultimate defense and that, but like Luka is a forward that is big but can't do everything. The only guys that I look at that can really do everything, Jimmy Butler, and a couple years ago, Jason Tatum, and then I'm looking at Jalen Williams. I mean, that's the entire league as far as playmaking. LeBron James as well, but as far as playmaking, shooting, mid-range game, driving to the basket, and defense, those are the guys I think of, and that's what the level I think he can get to. Jimmy Butler is kind of what I see as far as his rank in the league, not as far as play style, but as far as his rank in the league. And like I said, I don't really see a similar player to Jalen Williams as far as, because Jalen Williams, like I said,
there's just someone in the 90s I can't think about.
But he gives point forward vibes, and if you're talking about a number one that is like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you're talking about Shai and Michael, then I mean Scotty and J-Dub, it makes sense, and it's gonna be like, yo, you're disrespecting Scotty. Oh my gosh, he has 6. Relax, okay. We're saying he's the number 2, and he is a big defensive wing that can play make on a championship team. So I don't think those comparisons are crazy. I just think, first off, his co-star makes it so that those comparisons are real.
Yeah. I just think that Scotty was a better all-around player outside of scoring, from the standpoint of like literally leading in every statistical category outside of scoring, like
Absolutely.
Rebounds, points, assists. I mean, not rebounds.
And Scotty was bigger too.
Rebounds, Rebounds, steals, assists, all of that, and was really good that year. He left and went to the Rockets. I just feel like there's someone in the 90s that I just can't think about, but yeah,
I don't like a Grant Hill type of guy.
Yeah, maybe you're like I don't know, I just can't think, but yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I definitely think y'all's future is bright. I still don't want to say dynasty because I said the same thing with the Celtics.
Yeah,
and we're the best team I've literally I think I would mess with our chances against the KD Warriors. I ain't saying we would beat them though.
No.
But it would not be a sweep.
It would be a sweep. They would kill y'all.
There's gonna be a night we hit 43.
I don't care. They would.
No, you have to care about that. You have to care about that.
They would sweep. They would sweep y'all, bro.
No,
bro. They would.
There's a gap, but it's not. They went to 7 games with Harden.
Bro, that team was nice though.
They weren't better than us.
But Harden was better than anybody on that team, and he played good. He played decent in that series. Not great.
He did, but they're not better than us. Like they're not nowhere near us, and they went to 7 games with them.
But I feel like,
come on,
that's because they were already beating the hell out of teams. So like at some point they had to be like challenged. I feel like.
Okay, so they get to the finals.
They only had 2 7-game series. Like that was.
And we're better than any of the teams they went to 7 with. Like much better.
I don't know, bro. I don't
like much better.
As I think of, but Steph is bro. It's Steph. Steph be doing y'all by himself.
That's inevitable.
Steph 2022 did y'all by himself. I think that's the mismatch. And then you add, bro. I just don't. And first off, I don't think we're getting the game off the freaking Warriors.
Well, yeah, no.
I don't think there's. I don't look.
But I'm saying though, like. KD wins that matchup, but I don't know.
It's across the team. Clay is guarding Jalen. I think it is a matchup.
Clay and Jaylen Brown is also like, yeah.
But Clay is just going to shoot threes, and Clay can lock him up.
But like another thing though, who's the 5 for?
Shit, you pick.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's not gonna be hard to guard Kristaps Porzingis inside. So it's like you could
Kristaps Porzingis.
You could play small ball with
Iguodala on the perimeter. Him and Horford.
I mean, you go Iguodala. And
who got Derek White then?
Bro, if you put Iguodala, Draymond, KD, Thompson, and Steph on the court, it don't. They were a great defensive team. They'll find a way.
They were top in the league.
Yes,
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, the difference. That's the difference between us, like, and that's why. Like, for instance, when Indiana's hitting threes, y'all don't have them in a box. Y'all have them in a box because they can't get to the rim. They can't get no easy ones. You can't shoot threes the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, with us, it's like, no, we're actually, like, shooting threes. And once again, even though we just lost, bro, in reality, if we had Sam Hauser, if we had all these guys, it's just if. But I'm just saying, like, and we did in our playoff run, and we went all the way. That's why I'm saying, like, I just don't think it'll be a sweep. I think we'll go 7. Because at the end of the day,
7
Draymond's
games.
elite, but at that point, Draymond's elite. But I just don't.
Not offensively at that point. He wasn't great offensively with KD. When KD got
he great offensively, just not scoring.
Yeah, but
his playmaking was crazy.
I don't know, bro. It's
like Derek White. Bro, I don't know, bro. We're just hitting so many threes. Like, and as much as threes they were hitting, we were hitting much more than them, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, I can't see it, bro. I can't see that. And it's more like
I think KD's
it's
the
more
separator.
like I feel like the games would be close, but I feel like they would just win. And it's not because
they got the best closer for sure.
Maybe
but I
two
just
of
think,
them.
like I said, like I think there's just gonna be 1 or 2 games where, like, as good as that team was, bro, we're gonna win 1 or 2 games.
So
like,
you think Boston is basically the second best team of like the last 15? Because that's basically what you're saying.
For sure.
I don't think
Unless
so.
I'm just like the only teams I think that could compete in since 2000, Shaq and Kobe teams, and KD Warriors teams. So
OKC could compete with y'all.
We could, but I just think offensively, it's like our defense is better than Indiana's, and our offense is like still better than Indiana's.
It was.
Like,
yeah, so
it's just like I don't know, and I think once again, I just think y'all going to 7 with the Nuggets. Like we went a whole as weak as this East is, as weak as it is. Like we ran through teams. Miami always gave us problems. We lost one. Like we lost 3 games in an entire playoff run.
Yeah, I did.
I
don't know. I didn't.
Yeah,
Pacers never been there before. Cavs are ass every single year, and I'm not pooping on the run.
But then I think the separator is like.
I think separator was the finals. I think
the separator is the finals, and what Porzingis did in the finals.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's just like damn, like. It's Porzingis for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like Tatum, we've known that he's always done that and got bounced in the conference finals or made the finals and lost.
Yeah,
Brown been doing this, but it's Derek White. Honestly, it's Derek White and Porzingis.
Because I mean that was the impressive part of y'all. That was I'm not gonna say the only part, but I mean that was y'all.
Pritchard, Hauser,
I thought the
Horford.
Mavs were gonna win that series and they just shut me the hell up right away. So that was important.
That's why I say, like, for instance.
But if y'all played Denver last year, they would have probably took y'all to 7. Yes, they would have took y'all.
Last year?
Yeah, last year
they were worse than this year. No,
they weren't. They weren't. And they have Jokic. Y'all couldn't guard Jokic. So I mean, that, like, it would have been the same thing. Yeah, Jokic would have gave y'all hell. Yes, he would.
He wouldn't be able to play make like that though.
But any minutes, he would. Any minutes where Horford isn't on the court, you can't stop him. Who's guarding him?
Nobody.
Yeah, like it's impossible.
But Jamal Murray would struggle.
He would.
Derek White, Drew Holiday.
But I mean, he did against us too. It's just Jokic is that good. Like, but we got the yapping a little bit at the end.
For sure.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. We will be back soon. And peace out.